I literally just graduated from uni last year, and I have been doing a lot of reflecting of those times. And I think about the really good times. I think about the bad times. I was literally thinking about the times that I would crash out like a mad person. My emotions were all over the place. I was very anxious. I was very chaotic. And I was thinking about like all my big crash outs. Most of my big crash outs that I had, whether that was by myself or I was at a party or I was with my friends, they would all be caused by men. By men. What do you mean a man is making you go crazy like that? Most of them will be caused by men. And it got me thinking, why would my emotions be so all over the place? And why would most of my crash outs be because of a man? And I realized that it was a lack of self-love where all those unregulated emotions came from. Because I lacked so much self-love, I started to look for love in other places. And for me, that was men. I can't believe I'm saying that out loud. And I would do anything to feel validated by them, even if it was temporary. And that made me go insane. And that is why I believe a lack of self-love causes insanity. I was thinking about like different times at uni where I was crashing out and it would be because of a man. And I would genuinely do things that were so out of character that it's just like, bro, what are you actually doing? I would do the absolute most to get someone's attention. And it wasn't just one time, it was multiple times. It was just different guys in different fonts, and it would just be a cycle and I would just repeat it. The lack of love truly caused my insanity because I was genuinely anxious all the time. And I have realized I had an anxious attachment style, so obviously that probably didn't freaking help, did it? There'll be times that I couldn't eat and like I couldn't sleep properly because my romantic interests were always at the forefront of my mind. Because I lacked self-love. Like there was no love because I was giving it to all these people. And when you don't love yourself internally, you start outsourcing that love. For me, it was men, but for other people it can look different. So it could be social media validation, it could be achievement, like needing to achieve things so much all the time to feel valued, attention from people in general. It could be money, it could be external approval from others. But you know what, it all kind of is in the same kind of bracket. Like it's always because of someone else. You're trying to please other people, that you're not giving yourself that love, and it genuinely messes your brain up. Like it makes you go like, you feel all over the place, you feel drained, you feel you just feel ugh. When you're like giving out your energy to all these things and not giving it to yourself, of course you're gonna feel freaking drained. Do you get what I mean? You're investing all your energy into things that were never meant to sustain you. So of course you're gonna feel confused. Of course you're gonna feel unstable. Because that's how I felt like a lot of the time at uni. I felt all over the place. Because I was giving all of my energy to these men. I did not give that energy to myself. Too busy thinking like, oh my gosh, he hasn't texted me. What do? I can't breathe. Oh my gosh, like he viewed my story and I'm checking snap scores and I'm literally like, bro, that is so unhealthy. And you know, looking back now, there would be people in the world, there would be people at my uni would say that I was literally like insane. Like there was actually something wrong with me. And there was times that people would be like, yeah, like that bitch is crazy. That bitch is insane. To them, I was probably crazy, but to me, I was completely disconnected from myself. I never stopped to think about myself. I was so focused on them, what they were doing, why they were acting a certain way, that I completely abandoned myself in the process. Which is so mean. That is what a lack of self-love looks like. It's not just low confidence or not liking how you look. That's a whole nother thing. It's losing yourself to be chosen by someone else. Oh, sorry, that can eat. And being at university, that made it so much easier to fall into that. At uni, and the uni that I went to, everything was so intense and so fast. It was very, very hard to ground myself. Anyone that can ground themselves at university, I want to give them a trophy, because I don't know how you do that. There were some people I'm like, wow, like how did you even stay grounded? Like I want to give you a trophy because I don't know how to do that. That place is intense. And when I look back at that version of myself that was crashing out, crying every 2 seconds, didn't even know what to do with themselves, literally just losing her absolute mind, I don't feel embarrassed of her. I don't like people. There have been times that like people try to embarrass me about those times of my life, and I don't get embarrassed because I understand that version of myself. I understand why you were the way you were, because there was no love. It was just insanity. I didn't know how to choose myself yet. I didn't know how to set those boundaries. I didn't know how to put those in place. I didn't know how to do that. Self-love isn't just something you say. It's something you practice. And I didn't understand that for the longest time. It's about doing things that might make you feel uncomfortable, but it will help you in the future. I don't know if that makes sense. But like, how do you actually get out of that like lack of self-love? How do you start to find yourself again? How do you start to come out of that insanity? How do you start to get out of that, like, that mental asylum? How'd you do that? Hello, my beautiful people. I am currently editing and I'm realizing that I actually haven't answered the question properly. The question at hand is, how do you give yourself love so you don't go insane? I was just rambling on a lot, which I usually do, but we're just changing the format of the video and I'm just going to answer it like this on my edit cam. So I have my notes on the side because I have some quotes that will help my answer. The question at hand was, how do we give ourselves love so we don't go insane? Loaded question. The reflection thing is really annoying me. Ow, 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 my piercing. To answer this question, it actually just goes back to like my first point in the video, talking about giving out all this energy to other people and not giving it to yourself. So it's already evident that we know how to love and care because we can do it for other people, right? We're just directing it outwards, not inwards. So it's not like we don't know how to do it. We do know how to do it. We just need to find a way to do it for ourselves. Now, I was on Reddit, because I love Reddit. So Reddit eats. And someone said, treat yourself like you would... English. Treat yourself like you would treat a loved one and speak to yourself as such. When I cook for someone, I put a lot of effort into the meal and plate it nicely and serve it in a nice environment. So I will be doing the same cooking for just myself. Treat yourself like a close friend. When you are wondering, am I accepting less than I deserve? Then think about what you would advise a loved one to do in your situation. When I read this, I was like, oh my gosh, this is such a simple statement. And this is such a simple thing to do, you know? But how could we expand on that? So then I started thinking about how that person has flipped the love they give to others and put it onto themselves. And that is how I think we should do it. We need to flip it. The flip is, we need to notice what we're doing for others or for someone else, catch the intention behind doing it, and then redirect that same action or intention to yourself. So that was a lot. But I have an example. And now I'm going back to what I started talking about at the start of the video. When I used to speak to a man, when I liked someone, the first thing I would do in the morning is see if they've messaged me good morning or if they've replied to the message from the night before. So I'm waiting for their text. So what did I do? I flipped it. How did I do that? In the morning, I don't check my phone. I create a calm morning for myself. Making breakfast, laying in my bed, praying, meditating, all before I go on my phone. That's flipping it, and that's giving myself that love instead of waiting for a message, you know? Another example, don't worry, I've got a few examples. When you are complimenting your friend, you're hyping them up, you're giving them that love. Flip it. You speak to yourself with kindness and you talk to yourself with kindness. It's not big. It's actually very simple. It's quite simple. It's literally the little tiny things. That is just a small way to give yourself love. Another one, when I was putting so much effort into these men for them to like me, posting this on my story, posting that on my story, like making sure that I look good for them, whatever, I flipped it. And I started putting effort into my environment, into my room, into the food I'm cooking, into my routine. You're kind of just like flipping that energy to yourself. I actually might sound so insane right now, but someone must be getting what I'm saying. When you're prioritizing their needs all the time. Oh no, but what about them? Like, what am I going to do? What if he needs this? What if I... Flip it. What do you need? What do you need right now? That is it. You're flipping it. And it's like little things. Like, there was times that I would speak to a guy and I would stay up on the phone till like 5 a.m. 5 a.m. just on the phone with them. Now no one can catch me awake at 5 a.m. I'm asleep because I flipped it.
because I need to make sure that I get my sleep in. Flipping it was the start of the journey of self-love. When you start there, just by doing basic things, simple things, and just flipping it little by little, like, you don't even realize that you're giving that love to yourself. At first you might be like forcing yourself to flip it, but then sooner or later it will just be like, period, it's easy to flip it. And do not get it twisted, it does take time for you to be able to ground yourself when you have just come from such a high of insanity. It takes time. It's not something that happens overnight. Hey, it took me very long. I'm still on the journey. I'm still there. I'm still working on it. I'm not even 100% yet, trust me. But there's a lot of growth. I was reading, I found my old journal from like 2021. I was reading it and I was like, oh my gosh, you were losing your marbles. You were losing your marbles. And I didn't even realize that I flipped it. There's so many things I write in here and I'm like, oh my gosh, I flipped it. There was one entry that I was talking about how much I want someone to love me. Like, I truly wanted that love. Like, I don't know why no one loves me. Like, what's going on? But like, it's flipped now because I'm putting that effort and love into myself deeper. And I'm not losing my mind. I'm losing my mind in different ways, but not in that way anymore. It's a journey. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video because I enjoyed it. It's all a journey, guys. We're all gonna be okay. It's okay if you're insane right now because you'll get out of it. If I can get out of it, you can. I love you guys so much and I will see you very, very soon. Bye. Oh, okay, still recording.